everybody, Slaten here, and today I'm going to show you how I change strings on my banjos. So to kick things off, I'm going to be using the Ernie Ball, what is this? The 5-string banjo bluegrass model. Let's see what size these are. I bought these off Amazon, they're pretty cheap. I'm one of those musicians that is guilty of not changing my strings as often as I should. So look, looks like this goes from a 9, should be another 9, yeah, 9 to 9. So in order, it's going to be a 9, a 20, a 13, an 11, and another 9. So that's the strings I'm going to be using. I'm going to get the camera aimed downward on the floor so I can show you better what my steps are. So to get things started here, we have my banjo just laying on the floor. If you have a workbench or something, that's nice. Good for you, I don't. So these strings, the way they work is they have loops twisted into the end of them, and they go on these metal pegs right here. Then it goes across a bridge, a floating bridge that's held against the banjo by string tension. So the string is going to go from the peg there, and then you're going to weave it through these little notches. Then it's going to ride right over the top of this bridge via a notch. Then it's going to go down the fretboard, and this is the octave G 5th string, and they're going to coil around the pegs or the tuning machines just like a guitar. But the main difference between a banjo and a guitar is going to be the twisted loop ends and the floating bridge. So on banjos, to get them intonated, you have to play around and move your bridge around until your harmonics match the 12th fret. So I have a method of changing strings that will not interrupt that whatsoever. Now here's your warning, this is going to be a bumpy ride because I'm just going to try no cuts and move the camera around as I go. So I'm going to start with the high G, and the way I'm going to do this is just loosen it until it's floppy. Man, these are dirty strings. Okay, I'm going to loosen the tuning peg until I can start unwrapping it. I'm going to try not to poke myself. It's very easy to prick your finger with these really thin strings. There we go. Then we're going to go down here. And there's that loop I was telling you about. See it? So here's that string. I'm just going to take off a string, then replace it immediately. That way my bridge never moves. So first string is going to be a 9 gauge. Let's get it uncoiled. So this is the loop end. Okay, what I'm going to do to make it easier is to pre-bend this thing. Let's see if it'll cooperate. I pre-bend it downward like that, and it makes it easier to get it on that peg. Then I got to go through this little notch. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. My camera won't aim down anymore. There we go. I'm going to go down into this groove right here. Now I'm going to go onto the groove on the bridge right there. And I'm going to hold tension. Man, this is clunky. Sorry, guys. And I'm going to get down to the tuning machine down here. Come on, camera. There we go. Gonna get to the tuning machine. So I have like 20 inches of extra string. And what I like to do is twist the peg until the hole is going this way. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. This is some high quality filming right here. Okay, we're gonna go in like this. Okay. And I like to keep, sorry guys, this is super clunky. I like to keep about 5 inches of play. On the higher pitched strings, I want more extra on the peg because it's going to have more tension. It just makes me feel nice and cozy knowing that there's extra string on that peg. So let's go back to here. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. You can see my horribly dry cuticles. There we go, that's better. So, I have it through the eye of the tuning machine. I like to kink it upwards, bend the string upward. And then I will go over the string like this. Keep it kinked. Then I'll start tightening it, and I make sure that the string is winding downward. So I have one wrap on the top of it, and the rest of them are going to be below it. And that will help pinch that tag end of the string in place. And I'll just make sure that my string is staying in the notch on the bridge, and it stays in the notch on the tail piece here. Guess I can zoom you out some. And then there's a little nut peg right there for, I don't know what the actual term is. Alright, let's see, I got a few coils on there. Now I'm going to give it a little stretch. Alright. I want to make sure that it's not slipping. I think we are good to go. And I don't clip these yet until you know that you have enough coils on here that it's not slipping, because if it is, you're going to ideally put a new string on there, but if you want to be cheap and reuse the same string, just back it out a couple more inches and get more coils on there. Now we're going to go on to the low D string, which is going to be a 20. Oh, this one's nice and brass covered. Look at, it's got a nice brass coating on it. Wind. So this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to loosen it until the hole in the tuning peg or tuning machine is going this way. And on 5-string banjos, the low D is going to be the only coiled string. I'm going to pre-bend it like that to make it easier to put on this tail piece. I'm going to put it down in this groove right here. Make sure it goes on this notch right here on the bridge. Then I'm going to put it through the tuning machine. I'm going to have about 5 inches of slack in the string. I'm going to kink it upward like that. Then I'm going to loop it over on itself. I think I'm going to. There we go. I'm going to rest the neck on my leg. Didn't I really just do that? I did it backwards. make sure that it's wrapping this way. Okay. So I make sure that it's in the notch in the nut, and it's in the notch in the bridge, and in the tailpiece. And there we go. Now, one thing I like to do on all of my string instruments, banjos and guitars and such, is every time I get a new set of strings put on them, I like to give them a good stretch. I'll pull them up about 2 inches off the fretboard. They're not tuned to pitch yet. They're still a little loose. Keep that in mind. I wouldn't do this to strings that are tuned to pitch quite as much. But I lift it up by 1 inch or 2 off the fretboard, and I'll wiggle it side to side about the same. And I pre-stretch them. Just like this. I grab right around where the 12th fret is. And believe me, I've broken enough strings in my day to kind of know what tension they can take before they finally give way. Coiled strings tend to be the worst about breaking when you do this. And on the high G string, I'd go up to around the 16th fret or so. That's about halfway. You want to be about halfway between the tuners and the bridge. Alright, now that those are nice and stretched, it's time for a tune-up. So now it's time to tune this thing up, and I don't have a tuner handy right now because I can't find it. But I do have a acoustic guitar that is in tune right now. I just need a G. That's pretty close. And that is how I change my banjo strings. So if you like this video and you want to see more like this, leave a comment below letting me know so consider subscribing and hit the bell notification so you'll know when I upload new content. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.